We'll be back with key intel. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones asking you for a minute of your time to tell you about soap. Not detergents, but good old-fashioned pure soap made by the Cal Ben Soap Company, a family-owned and operated American company. My family, staff, friends, and radio listeners are constantly telling me how much they love these products for bath, hair, laundry, and dishes. There is nothing like these factory-direct, big money-saving, triple-concentrated soaps anywhere. Get a free detailed catalog by calling 800-340-7091 or see them online at 5starsoap.com or Infowars.com. Let's talk to the owner of 5 Star Soap, Marty Schachter, and see what he has to say.
As founder and owner for over 63 years, people keep asking me, how's business? I'm happy to say our business is going down the drain. Call us at 1-800-340-7091. Visit our website, 5starsoap.com, for buying our 1 to 2 month soap sampler. Thank you.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new Energy Czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup, insurance, and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
I have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Thomas Jefferson. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
So it's all happening right now. They're trying to pass now through the House the bill that gives the federal government unlimited, no checks and balance power to take over any farm or ranch, to stop you from having a garden in your backyard or slicing tomatoes for your children. No food preparation. Total federal control. They're trying to pass the carbon taxes. They're trying to pass the total takeover and censorship of the internet, where the Justice Department can shut down any website without even giving a reason. No judge, no jury, no court, no recourse. Just like no-fly list, we put you on this list. There's now 2 million Americans on it. A year ago, it was only 1 million. Or 2 years ago, it was only 1 million. Now it's 2 million people plus on it. You can't ever get off. You're going to have government authorization to even have a job. That is mainstream news, CNBC. Obama wants secret blacklist, where they just secretly put a company on a list so they can't ever get government contracts. Obama every week is issuing hundreds of waivers. He doesn't have the power to do it. I mean, again, Congress passes a law, he signs it, and he says, well, I will now have the Department of Labor issue waivers to any corporation I see fit to not have to buy their employees insurance. And then nobody else gets that, and so they can't compete, and they shut down. Do you realize just on every front they are now setting up the dictatorship of the federal government? All the previous developments were just building the foundation. Now they built the superstructure. They put the walls in. They're putting in the fixtures. They're polishing the wood floors. They're putting the front door up and the locks. I mean, they are completing this thing. They are finishing the Death Star that is going to be used to obliterate your individual freedoms. On every front, they are moving now. They are stealing tens of trillions a year. They won't tell the Congress where it went. When some of it comes out, it's buying off media. I mean, that's a totally unfree society. Meanwhile, people are fighting over Republican and Democrat. Boehner is up there today putting out press releases, the Republican leader, probably going to be speaker, reporting on, unemployment went up to 9.8. Oh, my. I mean, Boehner knows full well it's above 22. They all just play along with it. If a congressman isn't talking like Ron Paul about martial law, world government, dollar collapse, they're bought and paid for. And I want to see Rand Paul hit the ground running when he gets into the Senate. We all, by degree, have been conditioned to accept more and more and more insanity. And whereas I would read the blueprints over a decade ago and say your cable box has a microphone in it that they don't even tell you about, they've got AI computers recording it and doing keyword data logs. Then Google comes out 5 years later and admits they're using all of these devices and your computer to listen to you and watch you. Schools come out and say, yeah, we're watching your kids at home. No judge, no jury. They come out today in the Wall Street Journal, in the Washington Post, and Wired Magazine and say, yeah, the government's listening to everything you do. They're watching all your transactions in live time. Just 4 years ago, Bush was up there in press conferences going, I promise, yeah, we're not listening to any of you without a warrant. We're only listening to Al-Qaeda overseas. Yeah. Then he got caught lying. So Congress runs in and writes a retroactive law saying, well, if it's people of interest overseas to people in America, we don't need warrants. And then it turns out it's just complete lawlessness. Well, we already knew that. The Telecommunications Act of '96 gave $9 billion. First it was $6 billion, then $3 billion more, to be technical. And it was also authorized billions more each year to pay the telecoms to run the spying for the NSA. And they've got what they call dark fiber at every major IT facility that is NSA. Period. Everything, and everything you do is being listened to. But don't let that intimidate you. Don't let that become some panopticon. You know, the French, going back 300 years ago, figured out how to build circular prisons that had a stone guard tower, generally 4 stories high, inside a 4-story prison. And all of the bars were open so they could watch you at all times, and there were guards at every level of the tower that had catwalks going out so that you had the feeling of being watched all the time. The French 300 years ago developed this system of total surveillance, or the feeling that you're being surveilled. Good. You're dirty criminals that shouldn't be listening to my phone. You're a dirty government that makes everything it does secret. See, they get more secret as everything we do is wide open. And every act of this is a felony. But it doesn't intimidate me. It doesn't scare me that they're corrupt and evil. See, a lot of folks are going from the process of denying all this exists to going, yeah, I know it's all real, so I'm just going to go along with it. If you give in to this, we know historically 100%. 100% of the time, we know where this goes. Downhill. The more they get away with, the more they're going to do. And again, comes out 3 months ago that all the major death benefits of 6 million dead and dying veterans from World War II through to the current wars are having their death benefits when they die stolen from them, and the government made a deal with the insurance companies to do it, and nobody gets in trouble. Because the bureaucracy said, Congress didn't pass a law legalizing theft. The bureaucracy says so. They say it's against the law for TSA to stick their hands down your pants, but they say they're immune. Are you starting to figure out what these people are doing? They are psychologically breaking our will. They are training us to accept anything. Now, not only did it come out in the last 2 days that hundreds of billions of dollars was given to foreign banks, hundreds of billions was given to foreign corporations, and hundreds of billions were given to U.S. corporations in the Fortune 100, including MSNBC and other media outlets. But the details of that remain secret, and MSNBC violated tax laws by not reporting it, but the government doesn't care if you violate laws as long as you're part of their criminal group. We have a criminal government that is a sock puppet for offshore ruthless banks that Thomas Jefferson warned you about, that Lord Acton warned you about. And I read those quotes earlier. And so, of course, the government's out in the open, and Lieberman and Sunstein are out in the open, and others are out in the open, and Bill O'Reilly's out in the open saying censor people's free speech. Execute WikiLeaks. Regardless what you think of WikiLeaks, if you execute or imprison him, and it does look like a globalist destabilization program, if you execute him for leaking this stuff to the media, am I going to get executed for when law enforcement gave me the MIAC report and Homeland Security reports proving that veterans and gun owners are the #1 enemy of the federal government and that that's who's really targeted, not Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda? Will I be executed? I mean, if somebody gives a reporter some information, will they be executed? This is where we're going as a society. And it's moving quicker. Once you get to this point in a tyranny, then more tyranny happens in a year than happened in the previous decade. Then when you get deeper, more tyranny happens in a month than happened in the previous decade. Then more tyranny happens in a week. I've studied tyrannies. It's the same. It's like a cancer. You know, certain types of cancer, they know how they grow, they know how they behave, they know what they do. And folks, the planet, our society, our civilization gave in to corrupt politicians, corrupt banks, corrupt elites with fancy PR men and slick packaging, and they sold us pure evil. And it's here. And it's only going to get worse until you break out of your trance and get angry. Now, I'm going to make the big announcement here. I'm authorized to go this far. People that don't understand basic journalism, I wear many hats. I'm a pundit. I'm a journalist. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a writer. I'm a researcher. I'm an analyst. I've got to wear all the hats here to fight the globalist. But under journalism, people say, tell us who your law enforcement source was for MIAC and Homeland Security. Doesn't matter what my source is. The government admits those documents are real and are upset about it. See, the general public's so ignorant, they're like, well, why don't you tell us your source? Because then I wouldn't have the source. And it's the same thing with this Jesse Ventura TV show being censored. You know, I've done some consulting for the show. I've appeared in about half the episodes of last season and this season. I'm in the episode tonight, next week's episode. Deep research. And when I saw the police state episode that I consulted on heavily and appeared in, I couldn't believe it was going to go on air. And I said that on air. I said, I cannot believe this is going to air. How the threat fusion centers are spying on everything you do, how they've got roundup lists. This is all on record, but never presented on national television. The Rex 84 plan, the continuity of government plan, and these congressmen being questioned who co-sponsored the Emergency Centers Act, who then made jokes about it and tried to deny it. I couldn't believe that